Let me share something with you. Hi, I'm Scoot, and welcome to the Scoot in the Air YouTube channel. I want to share this with you. You see this? This is a picture that I took today. This is the entrance of the old building that I lived in downtown New Orleans. By the way, a very historic building. And I went to go pick up my deposit check. And look, the women in the office are great. I mean, I love them. So this is no reflection on them, and I'm not naming any names. But this has happened about 3 times in the last 5 months that I lived in the building. This is just part of the problem. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that the building that I lived in, I was paying what I would consider to be a considerable amount of rent, rather high rent. The building that I lived in downtown New Orleans changed. And they started allowing anybody to live there. And it was easy for them to apparently accept government money to support people living there. And, you know, I lived in a building where this happened before I lived in this building, another historic building. These are historic buildings in downtown New Orleans. I left one building because it's so deteriorated in terms of population. And then I moved to this building where I lived for a few years, and it was great. And then all of a sudden I noticed things were changing. There was no announcement. You know, the owners didn't announce that there was any kind of change. But I started to see things break. Like the railing, like one of the hand railings in the elevator was broken. The front door was cracked, just like I just showed you. And the front door was cracked several times. You know, here it was again today. And look, you know, this looks like somebody's fist or head hit it. So to me, I mean, I'm not a, investigative detective, but this looks like the result of a violent act. And so there was just like all kinds of shit around the place, like an empty pack of cigarettes on the floor in the elevator. This was a historic, well, it still is a historic building in downtown New Orleans. And I guess I want you to know this is what's happening. This is what's happening in downtown New Orleans. And it's sad. And not only has the population of some of these buildings in downtown New Orleans changed dramatically, but they're beating the shit. People are beating the shit out of these historic buildings in downtown New Orleans. The building I lived in was built in the 1920s. And it is beautiful, majestic, historic. And it looks like it's going to shit. In fact, let me point out one other thing about this, this picture. You know why they have "enter" written on this door? Because the main entrance, the main door to the left of this is broken and was broken for at least a month before I moved. Who broke the freaking door? Why do you do this? There's like a thug mentality that is populating downtown New Orleans. And again, I'm paying a lot of money in rent to live in a shithole. The problem is, too often, and I've got firsthand experience with this. This is not just hearsay. I'm not just speculating. I've lived in 2 buildings where I've witnessed this firsthand. When many people get something essentially for nothing, they don't give a shit about it. They don't take care of it. I work hard for my money. And I take care of my apartment. If I spilled something in the hallway, I cleaned it up. And before I moved, as new people are moving in, I'm seeing spillage in the elevator, in the common areas, and people don't give a shit. And it's really disgusting. And not only that, but here's the other problem. People who know these people are now coming down into the central business district of New Orleans, and they're hanging out. They're coming, they feel like it's their home now too. So they're just hanging out on the street. They're sitting on stoops, hanging out. And I know you can't always judge people by the way they look, and I don't judge people by their fashion. I don't judge people by the way they wear their hair, or, even people with hoodies or saggy pants. But, you could kind of get the idea that, some people are just like, undesirable. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it too, and this is not harsh on my part. If you know anything about me, you know that man, I'm all for equality. I'm all for helping people. But I'm not going to live with people who are not going to take care of the building that I live in. We're going to turn into a shithole. And again, we're talking about a historic building in New Orleans. You know what this is about? In my opinion, this seems to be about profits. Because it seemed like they were having a number of empty units after COVID, after the pandemic hit. And so to fill those units, instead of promoting the building, they immediately appear to have gone for the instant money from the government. And maybe they're getting more from the government to put people in this building than would have been than they would have gotten from even me. It's really sad. And so, look, I still love this city. And I don't want this, if you're somewhere else and you come visit New Orleans, or you're thinking about visiting New Orleans, come to New Orleans. This is something that affects the residents of downtown. It doesn't really affect you that much. It affects, I guess it affects some of the people that are staying in downtown hotels, because, I can tell you from firsthand experience, the crowd, the group of people, the collection of individuals that are hanging out in downtown New Orleans has changed. And I don't know how else to put it. But it's sad what is being allowed to happen to these historic buildings. Chase me out of downtown New Orleans. And I'm not the only one. I had a maintenance person tell me that his wife is concerned every time he goes on a night service call. And he was telling me that a lot of professional people, doctors, lawyers, nurses, professional people, have suddenly moved out of the building. It's always fair to talk about the truth. And this is the truth. But if you come visit New Orleans, you're not going to see this. So come visit. Just be careful. Stay on the main streets. One time I'll do a show here on YouTube, and I will talk about some of the things that you need to be aware of when you visit New Orleans. It's a great city, but you got to be careful. I'm Scoot, and welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. I hope you become a subscriber. I welcome those of you who are new subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We will give you a personal notice every time we post something, and subscribing is free. And also join me on my radio show on WWL Monday through Friday in the afternoon, 1 to 4 Central Time.